Hey guys, it's your girl Vanessa Samino. Welcome back to my channel and thank you guys all for tuning in again. Today's reading is all about if it's really over, and I want you guys to be very open-minded with this question. If you're inquiring about love and you truly in your heart you know it's over, then the reading that you choose may be relevant to a different part of your life. You know, maybe your job, maybe a friendship, maybe a different sort of relationship that you have in your life. Be very open to considering all parts of your life that this reading could be about. Don't be too set in your ways on what answer you're exactly going to get from this reading. I always find that you get the most out of readings when you're really open, so I would just like to put that out there. Also, if you feel drawn to two groups, make sure that you tune into two groups, as your personal reading may be a mixture between two groups. So yeah, you guys, if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and also if you found this video helpful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. So you guys, I want to get straight into the reading. Hey guys, I'd like to welcome you to today's reading, so let's figure out if the situation really is over or not. So we have group number 1, group number 2, group number 3, and group number 4. So I'd like you to pick one of the 4 groups intuitively. If you feel like just pausing this video for a second to meditate on the 4 groups, feel free to do that. Otherwise, if you have decided which group you would like to choose, I'm going to get straight into the reading with group number 1. Okay, so group number 1, let's see what the cards have in stock for you. We have the Ten of Swords. So in the Ten of Swords, I mean, there's no denying this. I can't twist it or turn it any way. Something has come to a completion. So I see that something will come to an end. It will come to a completion. And it may be not the nicest looking end, and I know this is maybe not what you wanted to hear, or it's not the most encouraging start to your reading, but let's just see what else the cards have in stock before, you know, we judge the situation. But yeah, in the Ten of Swords, I definitely see that something is completed, and you know, it is sort of like dark times are coming to an end and there is new sort of clearer, brighter skies on the horizon, but something that has had to be done is going to finally be over with. So that is what I see coming, and it may be difficult for you. You may feel sort of defeated, but I feel like this is something that you knew had to end eventually. Then we have the Queen of Cups. So I see that you're trying to make a very like emotionally informed and mature decision. I see that you're someone who is not selfish, okay? You're very nurturing and caring, and you want the best out of the situation for everyone, not just for yourself. You know, you want everyone around you to be happy, and I see that you're very in tune with your emotions when it comes to this. So that leads me to think that it has to do with, you know, a close relationship. I feel like you're not generally inquiring about something that is just work related. I see that this is something that really has to do with your emotions, and you have a strong connection to this. So that is also maybe why, you know, it may be so difficult for you. That is maybe why the Ten of Swords has shown up, because you are emotionally attached to the situation. Just thinking that it might come to an end, or this might be an end point, could be, you know, very difficult for you. In the world, I see that, you know, there is another form of completion, but it's a very beautiful form of completion. It's very like your life coming together, and you're at a point where you feel like, okay, you know, my life is going in the direction that I want. I've like closed a big chapter, and I'm looking, you know, for the next thing to do. World is generally a great card to have come up in your reading, as you know, it means positive moving forward, but definitely it urges you to look forward and take the next step. So alongside with the Ten of Swords, I feel like the situation is sort of worn out, that the situation is over. So I don't know exactly what situation you're inquiring about or what situation you're in, but this is just for the group, the reading that I'm getting. I see that there is a lot of amazing new ventures that lie ahead of you. I see that there's a lot more of your journey to come, that it's just time to close, you know, any old chapters and move forward. I see that you've gotten everything that you're supposed to get out of the past. I see that you've gotten everything out of the situations, and it's time to move forward. Then we have the Magpie. So I see that moving forward, you need to be very cautious, as I see that if you aren't cautious, you might lose, you know, sort of like material things that are of value to you. So, you know, money, you may lose time that is very valuable to you, or you may risk, you know, your health. So I see that it's important for you to move forward carefully. So even though the world is urging you to, start on a new, fresh path, a new journey, to start something just new, you still need to be cautious, and you still need to be very aware of, the results of your actions, as well as, what others may be doing behind your back. So I see that it's important for you to just keep your eyes open, look out who's around you. Is everyone just here for your best interest, or do you feel like there are some people on your team that are not 100% there for, your new start and your fresh beginning? Because sometimes when we want to change and we want to do a revamp of ourselves and our lives, you can really tell who your true friends are, because your true friends will be supportive and will be there for you and only want you, to grow and move forward. And everyone who is sort of a fake friend will put doubt in your head. They will, constantly ask you, do you think you can do this? Do you think you're capable of it? Do you think it's a good idea? And those are the people you want to stay away from right now, as I see for you to embark on your new journey successfully. You only need support, and you only need people who stand behind you and tell you, you know what, I think you can do it. If you can dream it, you can do it. So that is what I see for you in the 7 of Winter. Then in the 6 of Winter, I see that there are exciting and super happy times ahead of you. That is what the 6 of Winter stands for. I see that a very difficult time is going to be coming to an end, and I feel like, that has very much to do with the 10 of Swords. I feel like the universe is trying to tell you to move on, leave things that aren't worth fixing, that can't really be put back together, leave those in the past, That is something that my mom always used to tell me, once a glass is broken, you can glue it back together, but the cracks will always be there, and sometimes it just, won't hold up. So I see that moving forward, there's a lot of amazingness for you. You're going to be leaving the challenging times behind and just, looking forward and not really thinking anything of the past. So if you're in a situation where you're not sure if it's really over or if it's the right thing for you to move on, the universe is telling you to move on. The universe is telling you that there are better things ahead of you, rather than trying to work things out in your situation right now. So those are the messages that I've got for group number 1. Okay, group number 2. We have the 5 of Swords. So in the 5 of Swords, I see that, you've sort of alienated someone, or, they've alienated you. There's alienation in the air. That's what I'm trying to say. And I feel like the situation looks like everyone's just walking away from each other, and I see that you sort of have the power to communicate, to bring things back together. So maybe you're inquiring about whether it's really over because, you feel like there's something you could have done or you could have changed. And, alongside with the 2 of Swords, I definitely see that this is up to you. This is your decision. I see that you can make a change. You can turn things around, so they do not need to be over. I see that it being over from your reading so far is not a must, Things can be turned around, but I see that it's important for you to really think whether you even want it to remain. I feel like you really need to think to yourself, is this situation in the long run going to be better if it's just over, or is it worth trying to save it? Because sometimes it's not really worth putting in the effort, the time, the energy to save something if you, in your heart, in your intuition, if you feel like it's not worth it. So that is also why we have, the moon in the 2 of Swords. It's important for you to follow your intuition, the water, your subconscious. You want to make sure that you're going with your gut feeling, because usually your gut knows, in which direction to guide you. So it's very important for you to just listen to your soul, listen to what your body is telling you, as I see that that will help you make the decision as to whether to try and save and rekindle the situation, or whether to sort of just walk away and pack your things and go. Even if that leaves people feeling hurt or alienated, or you feel like, the situation didn't really end on the note that you wanted it to, I see that, if your gut is telling you to go, I see that it's time for you to pack your things and just leave the past in the past. Then in the 8 of Pentacles, I see that on the earthly realms, and this is somewhat maybe a little unrelated to whether it's over or not, I see that in your job financially, you know, your schooling that you're doing, I see that you have a lot of discipline right now. I see that you have it in you to really finesse your skills. You have it in you to really create amazingness. I see that if you put more energy into your job or, you know, your studies, whatever it is that you're doing, I see that that will be a lot more beneficial than sort of mulling over the situation for too long. So I do see that it's important for you to also, you know, wrap your head around things that are actually doing something for you in this very moment, doing something positive for you. And I see that it would be great for you to put any sort of energy and positivity into your work, as now is a time where you're able to develop amazing skills and make really good and steady big jumps forward, so to say. Then we have the Queen of Winter. So I see very experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant sort of energy there, and I see that all of your life experiences have sort of prepared you for this moment, and this is a moment of truth, okay? This is a moment of truth for you to make that decision and to just stick with it. So like I said, you're going to have to listen to your subconscious and your gut about this. I don't see in your reading a very clear it's over or it's not over. I see that the power still really lies in your hands, and that is what I'm trying to get to. So the power lies in your hands, and it's time for you to also just declutter all of the noise that has been around of this situation. I see that there may have been a lot of miscommunication. There may have been a lot of little details and, you know, he said, she said, just spread around the situation, and you're not really sure, you know, it's just a lot of information and it's all very chaotic and crazy. So it's important for you to declutter the situation and, you know, look at it from a fresh perspective. Look at it in a cleaned up sort of perspective. So be very objective and declutter all of the noise that is not relevant to your decision making. Then we have the King of Winter. So I see that it's important for you now to communicate very clearly and be very objective and unemotional. So I want you to make the decision based on how you see it as a, you know, from an objective standpoint. I see that it's very important for you to not get hung up on your emotions, as that can, you know, sometimes lead you to making the wrong decisions or changing your mind. And I see that maybe you should consult someone who has been in this situation or who is a bit more experienced than you. But, you know, ultimately it's important for you to be very objective. If you feel like this situation can truly be rekindled, and if you feel like this situation can truly be more beneficial than just letting go, than it just being over, then maybe it's worth another shot. But you have to be objective. You have to remove yourself from the situation and make that choice yourself. You know, this is your choice that you need to make by yourself with your intuition as a guide to you. So that is what I see for you. Okay, group number 3. Let's see what the universe has to say for you. So we have the Six of Swords. So I definitely see you moving from a little bit of a difficult, rocky situation. I see that you are going to be moving into smoother and easier sort of waters, but I also see that you're going to leave something behind. So that might be, you know, this person, this situation, or you might be moving forward with new and fresh way of communicating, if you know what I mean. So I definitely see you moving into a better territory very soon, as things have been really rocky recently, okay? I see a lot of turmoil, so you are going to be steering in a easier direction when it comes to communication, when it comes to emotions. I definitely see things turning around. Then we have Death. So Death tells me that there has to be a rebirth of some sort, which makes me feel like, you know, to be very honest with you, because that is what I'm here for. You know, I'm not going to read what people want to hear. I read what I see in the reading, and what I see in Death is that, you know, you need a revamp. You need sort of a rebirth. So I see that this situation maybe is over, as painful as this may be to you, but maybe you're also just happy, you know, to hear that, okay, you know, I've been trying to rekindle the situation for so long. I'm happy to just hear also from someone else, from the spirits, from the universe, that maybe I just need a fresh start. Maybe I just need to leave this behind. Maybe I just need a rebirth of myself and give myself a new sort of sense of self-value. Maybe I need to leave my old low self-esteem in the past and just move forward as, you know, a newborn person, so to say. So that is what I see in death. Then we have the Hermit. The Hermit tells me that you're definitely going to need some time to yourself. It's just taking time to recharge and just think. So I definitely see that you need time to yourself to think and recuperate. Also to just sort of have like a recap on the whole situation and think of how you're going to be moving forwards. So in the Hermit, there's always a risk of being sort of overly isolated, and I want you to make sure that you don't allow that to happen. So while you do need time for yourself to rethink the situation and rethink, you know, what kind of person you want to come out as when you have your rebirth, I see that it's also important to consult other people. You know, consult someone like your mother, your grandmother, your sister, your brother, someone who is close to you and who truly knows you, and someone who is more than just an acquaintance or a friend, someone who you consider family. And that doesn't need to be blood. Family doesn't have anything to do with genetics. It's just someone who truly loves you and is there for you. Make sure that you don't completely isolate yourself, and that you definitely consult with others while you're taking time to also just, you know, clear your own head, and you're taking time to also just form your own thoughts on the situation. So then we have balance. So of course balance in this situation is very important, and I feel like balance came up in your reading because this whole situation has brought you out of balance. I see that you have not been balanced recently because of this situation, and I feel like, you know, alongside with death and alongside with you sailing into easier waters, I definitely feel like just calling it quits with this situation, just seeing it as being over and moving on, is probably going to have the best outcome for you. The universe just wants the best for you, and maybe that is why you clicked on this reading. So I see that it's very important in balance for you to, you know, merge different points of view with, you know, yourself, with your loved ones, with the people who you care about, and come to some sort of a compromise of what is best for you. So I see that in this situation, you may sort of feel like you need to consult other people, and it's fine to do that. You know, you should do that, and you should take a little bit of advice from everyone and then put it into one picture, so to say. But ultimately, your decision and, you know, the way you feel about this situation should be a driving force. So that is what I see in balance. Then we have the King of Autumn. So I see that you're going to be very accomplished, charismatic. See that there is a lot of compassion in the air, and the compassion could be, you know, from the people around you, because definitely a rebirth, a new sort of you finding yourself needs a lot of understanding, and I see that the people who love you are going to have that compassion for you. And I see that moving forward, you know, the King of Autumn tells me that everything is going to go great, everything is going to great on a earthly level. So I see that financially, just moving forward and going through this sort of revamp and rebirth is really going to switch up the game for you. I see that on a financial level, you know, either your job, you're going to get that promotion, or you're just going to find a way to make a little bit of extra money that you needed. All of your earthly realm energies are going to be flowing in a positive direction for you. So I definitely get from this reading that, you know, it is time to move on, it is over, and it's important for you to move forward and for you to really, you know, just change on a very cellular level. And, you know, if this is somebody that you are inquiring about, maybe you can revisit the situation at a later time. But right now I see that you need to just focus on yourself and focus on this new exciting chapter in who you are in your life. Okay, group number 4. Let's see what the universe has to say to you. We have the Magician. So I instantly see in the Magician that in order for you to know whether it's really over or not, you're going to need all the tricks in your box, okay? You're going to need all of the skills, all of the lessons that life has taught you. You're going to need to really utilize all of that to make this decision. As you know, I see that this is not an easy one to make, and it's just, how should I say, it will give you a lot more peace of mind if you know that you've consulted all areas of wisdom that you have and all areas that you know might give you a clearer answer. Then we have the Fool. So in the Fool, I definitely see new beginnings. However, I don't clearly see yet so far in your reading, you know, whether it's really over or not, but I definitely see a new beginning. So if you're inquiring about a person, the new beginning may be with this person, but you have to start afresh. You have to be able to let go. And if you're not able to let go of old baggage, then, you know, maybe it is really over. But the Fool just tells me that things need to start afresh, and you need to see this situation. If you're inquiring about this person, then it's that person. You need to see that person or this situation with a fresh, clear vision, you know, as if you're meeting this person for the first time, as if you're encountering this person for the first time. So yeah, I definitely feel like you have a lot of sort of emotional baggage attached to this situation, and that is why the Fool is coming up, because the universe wants you to see things with a beginner mind. The universe wants you to see things, you know, full of potential and go about your life in a very happy, sort of joyful manner. So that is what I see in the Fool. We have the Three of Wands. So I see a lot of passion, and I see that you're looking forward and thinking, you know, what shall I do with this situation? And I feel like it's important for you to, you know, definitely make use of this sort of widened horizon that you're creating for yourself, alongside with the Magician, you know, with all the life lessons that you've had. I see that you are, you know, creating a larger horizon. You're seeing things more from a bigger perspective than you ever have before, and that is great. But there is also, you know, there's also the danger of forgetting little details and little things that are still of importance. So in this whole situation, trying to make up your mind on whether this situation is over or not, I see that it's important for you to look out for every little detail and to not just, you know, see the big picture and then forget all the little things that happen that are important for you to make this decision. Then we have the Cow. So the Cow tells me that, you know, you've planned and you've definitely put in a lot of effort into this situation, and now you just want to see, you know, rewards. You just want to reap the benefits. And the Seven of Autumn, the Cow, tells me that that is definitely ahead for you. So that makes me feel like, you know, this situation is not over. That makes me feel like there are still things that you can get out of this situation that are beneficial to you. However, I do see in the Fool, as I mentioned earlier, that you're going to have to let go of baggage. So if you are able to let go of baggage, I definitely see the situation maybe having hope. You know, I see that there can be a revamp of the situation that you're inquiring about. However, if you cannot let go of the past and you can't see past sort of mistakes or things that happened that were difficult for you, that even brought you to the point of thinking maybe it's over, if you cannot see past all of that, then I see that, you know, things are just not going to work out, because definitely you need to see things with a beginner mind, and you need to give everything a fresh chance, you know, yourself a fresh chance, the situation a fresh chance, other people involved in this a fresh chance. And if you can't fully let go, you're not going to go into this situation in an unbiased way, and then I just see that everything is going to fall apart before you can really reap the rewards, before you can really reap what you've sowed. But if you do stay patient and you find a way to see things very innocently and clear, I do see you moving forward and reaping the rewards of everything that you've put effort into. Then in the Nine of Autumn, I see that now is a time for you to enjoy your own company. So I see that you have been mulling over this situation so much, that you have been thinking so much about, you know, whether it's over, whether it's not over, that you may have just neglected yourself a little. And I feel like maybe that's all that it is, you know, with the ragdoll cat, the Nine of Autumn showing up last in your reading. It's telling me that really what you need is some self-love. Really what you need is some time to just pamper yourself and take care of yourself, because often when we neglect ourselves, we bring, you know, all of the relationships and all of the other things into our lives. They suffer because of that. So I really see here that maybe this whole situation can just be fixed by you just taking care of yourself, and that way clarity will come to you. First, before you do anything, I want you to just take time to pamper yourself, you know, this night, order yourself a pizza, make yourself something yummy to drink, put on a face mask, just chill in your bathrobe and just, you know, watch your favorite show. I see that it's important for you to have some you time because I see that you have been working really hard, and the you time might fix a lot of things in you, and you just having that moment to yourself and taking care of yourself. I see that once you do that, the clarity on whether it is really over will come to you instinctively and naturally. So that is what I see you needing to do right now.